My superstar is dropping 70 points in a playoff game. He could be doing crack in the locker room. I still wouldn't trade him. I'll be like, all right, keep on doing it, buddy.
My question.
You have a generational player on your hands, and you trade him for Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is a really good player. So that should tell you how good Luka Doncic is. If we're saying that's an L trade, let's keep it real. If it's not Jokic, SGA, or Wemby, it's not a good trade. I'm just keeping it real. He's untouchable, bro. That's crazy. But this situation was so crazy that the great Jimmy High Roller had to forgo his upload schedule and drop the next day after the news. Crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it.
There aren't many things that can stop the entire NBA world in its tracks at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. Did someone score 100 points? Did LeBron hastily retire in the middle of the season? What, did Michael Jordan come back out of retirement? What could possibly get everyone riled up out of nowhere? Oh my God. We all said in unison as news broke that the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis.
Craziest
I
trade I've
couldn't
ever seen.
believe what I was
Craziest
seeing. I figured this was just some big elaborate hack job, and I was waiting for follow-up tweets saying, false alarm, the Mavericks actually aren't brain dead. I can't believe you guys fell for it. But within minutes, it was clear that this trade was unfortunately very real, and the Mavericks are—
Where were you when this trade went off?
I was driving.
Same.
I was driving, and no. Actually, I was getting ready to leave to go film, and my homeboy bust through the crib, and he was like, "Yo, you're not gonna believe what happened." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then he told me the news.
Brother, I was driving home after having an immaculate day. Came home, sat on the toilet, went through my phone, and seen Luka Doncic photoshopped in a Los Angeles Lakers video. I mean, jersey or whatever. Looked at it. Ha ha ha. W Photoshop. Scroll.
I thought it was a joke.
Next post, I seen another one. I'm like, yo, this looks a little bit serious. Then I went to Twitter, right? NBA Central posted it. I thought, nah, that's just Central. Let me check ESPN. Maybe just to make sure I'm not tripping. I click on ESPN. Breaking news. Luka for AD. I immediately started tweaking and calling every single basketball fan I knew. Insane. Worst trade of all time. Worst trade of all time. Insane.
Are in fact out of their minds. The same player who Mark Cuban said he would rather leave his wife before giving up. The same player who was responsible for a third of the organization's finals appearances. The same player who by the grace of God miraculously fell into their lap 7 years ago is now gone. And after looking at the reported details of this exchange, how it went down and who was involved, this is, without exaggeration, the most shocking trade in NBA history.
Mark gotta be pissed.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. Super Bowl 59 is right.
He sold his team.
That's promo code Jimmy High Roller only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Now that we've had about a day to digest the Luka AD trade, by now the reality of the situation should be setting in. It has not. A trade so insane that fans are now theorizing if the league did it for the sake of ratings. Imagine concocting a deal so heinous that your fans literally think you're doing it for clout. That is how crazy this trade is. And there's about a dozen reasons why this is legitimately the most shocking deal we have ever seen. First, according to multiple sources, none of the players even knew this trade was happening. Not Luka, not Anthony Davis, not even the Lakers GM LeBron James. As some sources put it, this deal materialized in the shadows. In the shadows? What is this, the Illuminati? What do you mean in the shadows? And turns out this was the cleanest way this deal could have gone down. Because the next component that makes this truly the craziest trade to ever happen, Luka never requested a trade. He's been in Dallas his entire career, and outside of—
the crazy part about it, he didn't request a trade. They just traded him.
Just because. I honestly think it was something that happened behind the scenes.
I really
We just
do.
Don't know about
I
it.
really do. It has to be something, bro. He had to like crack somebody's wife or something like that, bro.
That's
of a few
room
room-
makes sense.
Nothing suggested he wouldn't be a lifer in that organization. There wasn't any buildup, there wasn't any reports of a disgruntled Luka making demands. It just happened out of the blue, which is reason number 3. The Mavs just traded away a top 3 asset in the NBA without even shopping him. No bidding wars, no asking around and assessing other offers. They just made the call to the Lakers and accepted the deal. Can you
Which is crazy. That never happens. Whenever a superstar is going to get traded, it's usually months of rumors. Yo, he might go here, shopping him around, just to find it. Like when Kevin Durant got traded, he requested a trade, and it was months before he got traded. Like months. Because they was shopping him around to get the best deal. And they got a pretty good deal for him, right? But this is just crazy.
Imagine the haul Dallas would have got if they actually shopped Luka around the league for a couple of months. Oh, you want to give us Luka? Here is our entire franchise, the players, the coaches, the building, the staff, my firstborn child. Take it all. Thanks for doing business. I'll figure out the details later. If Rudy Gobert is worth 2 starters, 5 first-rounders, and a pick swap. If Mikal Bridges is worth 5 first-rounders, a second-rounder, and a swap. If an aging Paul George is worth a rising SGA, 5 first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps, can you imagine what a prime Luka Doncic would have fetched to the right team? Oh wait, I know. A 31-year-old Anthony Davis and a thank you note. It makes no sense. And that brings up reason number 4.
Look at these trades.
And that's crazy.
Way worse players. Way worse of players, too. 5 first-round picks. He's a role player.
So this didn't get past. This didn't get to nobody else's ear. Like nobody.
They called the Lakers and one other team. This is the weirdest situation I've ever seen. Weirdest situation I've ever seen. Like, crazy. I was smoking weed and talking to the homies at Discord Sports Channel when it happened. I woke up my dad and little bro. Damn.
The Mavericks were just in the finals last year. We've seen players sign with other teams after a finals run. We've seen players demand trades after a great season. But we have never seen a team willingly cough up a megastar after being just 3 games away from winning a championship. It's unthinkable, because reason number 5, it's Luka freaking Doncic. You do not trade Luka Doncic. If you were to rank players in the NBA on their trade value, starting with the players who are the most untouchable, non-negotiable, hang up the phone, and down from there, Luka is probably 3rd or 4th on that list. The only 2 players definitively ahead of him are Wemby and Jokic. Now just try to wrap your head around the deal a team would have to offer in exchange for Nikola Jokic, or what the Bucks would get in return for Giannis. Here's a hint, there isn't one, because they would never trade them away. The deal doesn't exist. Tim McMahon of ESPN reported that Dallas had 2 major concerns in regards of Luka's future with the franchise. The first one being his massive $345 million 5-year extension, which he would have been eligible for this summer, and
That's a lot of money.
That's a
lot of money.
That is a lot.
second concern being his health and conditioning. In other words, the man was out of shape. So let me get this straight.
Nigga. When my superstar is dropping 70 points in a playoff game, bringing a team that had no business being anywhere close to the finals, and my biggest concern, nigga, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
That's why this is questionable.
He could be doing crack in the locker room, sniffing cocaine lines before practice, taking all the methamphetamine he wants to. I still wouldn't trade him. I'll be like, all right, keep on doing it, buddy.
My question to you is, what does their future look like?
They don't have one. like this is like the worst trade I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm so serious. I've never seen a trade this bad. It just doesn't make sense. Like, even if you did want to move Luka, you can get a whole entire NBA team for Luka. And I'm so serious.
That's crazy.
That's how good he is. So, if they wanted to move on, like, there has to be something we don't know.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's either the GM, it's either Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, right? has like something over the Mavericks GM that can, you feel me, potentially get him like arrested or something. Like that level. Or like maybe Luka has AIDS or something. Like, and they was just trying to move on from him like as quick as they could before people found out. That's literally the only answer. Like, I don't know what. It's crazy.
Straight. The Dallas Mavericks just traded away the best player of a generation, the future of their franchise, and the man that just got them to the finals on one leg because he put on a few pounds. For fuck's sake, Zion Williamson ate his way into load management, and he has spent the last 6 seasons in and out of rehab, and the Pelicans are still sticking by him. Now, Zion didn't deserve that stray. Seems like a nice guy. I wish him the best. But you get the point. We are now over a decade into the process, and the Sixers have yet to move on from Embiid. It's one thing for a franchise player to want out, to sign with another team if they aren't happy and the opportunity presents itself. But for a franchise to pull the trigger and get rid of a megastar in his prime because of constant conditioning issues is criminal. There's really no precedent or great comparison for a trade like this. Because in the past, even when teams did trade a superstar, there was context behind those trades that at least made it seem justifiable. Either the star was exiting their prime and the team was trying to salvage some value before they inevitably left, or despite how good the star was, the team wasn't finding much postseason success and wanted to go in a different direction. Or the star was bound to leave anyways, made it known, and the team had no leverage, so they were essentially forced into the trade. This deal between the Mavs and the Lakers has none of those elements involved. Luka didn't request a trade, he's 25 years old in his prime, and the Mavericks championship window just opened up. Now, as a Blazers fan, I am painfully aware of how hard it is to get your hands on a true franchise player. Painfully aware. In our team's entire 55-year existence, we've had 3. The first one got hurt, the second one was incredible, the potential third one got hurt, and the actual third one was also incredible. That's about one superstar every 20 years. What does the lackluster history of my team have to do with this trade? Well, because the Mavericks should know a thing or two about keeping their hands on a generational talent. Because in their franchise's history, they've only had 2 of them, Dirk Nowitzki and Luka Doncic. The first one spent his entire 21-year career in Dallas, facing ups and downs and winning arguably the heaviest and most challenging championship of our lifetime. And the second one, they traded away for AD in a box of scraps after just 6.5 seasons of a promising career. Crazy. And as every fan of a non-major market team knows all too well, generational talents only come along once in a generation. The Mavericks aren't some hotspot for superstar talent. They don't get real chances to win it all often. Just 3 trips to the finals in 45 years. One of those trips at the hands of the guy who they just sent packing. They cannot afford to roll the dice and hope for greener pastures like some other teams can. You are not the Lakers. You get a player like Luka and you lock that man in and throw away the key. What are we doing? It could be another 20 years before a player of Luka's caliber puts on a Mavericks jersey. And the team traded him away because he was mildly out of shape. It makes me sick. This is coming from a desperate man who's got 18 years left before I see another Dame. Which brings us to their second concern. Again, according to sources, the Mavericks were...
It's still just like him breaking it down to this like level makes it even crazier how they traded him.
It do make it.
It makes it so much crazier,
especially bringing up bro weight, and that's the only excuse that they
that,
have
like
for
that's
trading
like
him.
there has to be something deeper.
It has,
like it has to be.
We're not keen on giving Luka an extension that would have made him the highest paid player in the league. But if the third best player in the world who gets better in the playoffs is a perennial MVP candidate who's hitting his prime isn't worth paying, then who the hell is? Dallas said that this was a win now trade, an oxymoron of a statement considering who they just traded and where he just got them last season. But superstars win championships. Superstars also cost a lot of money. And if you're not willing to empty your pockets, how committed are you to actually winning? In what world has being cheap ever won a team a title? It just seems completely counterintuitive to what they're trying to accomplish. Now, the implications of this trade for the Lakers are just as drastic, but for entirely different reasons. For starters, this will be the first time in LeBron's entire career, youth, high school, NBA, a lifetime of basketball, where he won't be the best player on his team, which is already a huge adjustment for him and the team as a whole, but specifically because Luka and LeBron essentially do the same exact thing.
Which is the biggest thing about this. Me and Stanley were talking about this. They are the same player, basically. Just LeBron is better at defense. Literally the same player.
So what now? Are they going to fight over who's like
I don't know.
Who are they
If
going
I
to
was
use
LeBron,
more?
I don't know, but if I was LeBron, I would be pissed.
I would be mad too because I'm gonna feel
pissed.
like I'm getting replaced.
That's exactly what's happening. Like, I would be pissed.
Oversized on-ball floor generals with elite scoring abilities. In fact, they not only have the same skill set, they take on the exact same roles on the court. LeBron has always initiated the offense, even if it meant relegating point guards to other positions. And this usually worked in the past because no one did what LeBron could do nearly as good as he could do it. But now there's a guy who can do what LeBron can do, only better. So that means unless Luka and the Lakers are okay with him getting neutralized, LeBron will have to truly play off ball and within the flow of the offense for the first time in about 2 decades. 2 LeBrons on 1 team. Sounds great in theory, probably a bit redundant. Which leads me to believe the Lakers are actually playing a longer game with this trade. Sources report that the Mavericks are the ones that approached LA with this trade. And despite the Lakers playing fairly well as of late, I think they knew their chances of winning another title with the LeBron-AD duo was getting slim. So with the option of trading away key pieces and tripling down on a 40-year-old LeBron to carry them to the promised land, or trade for a megastar that just showed up on their doorstep 5 minutes ago, they couldn't book AD's flight to Dallas quick enough. Which makes me think this move was the first step into the post-LeBron era in Los Angeles. As we all know, LeBron will more than likely retire within a season or 2, and the Lakers needed a new face for their franchise. And they just got it. Inexplicably, miraculously, in the most Lakers way imaginable. I always wondered,
This trade still pisses me off. It
will
me
make
off
me
so
mad
much.
too, for sure.
It pisses me off so much.
what LeBron's final years would look like, how he would go out, who would be around him. But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine it would be playing second fiddle to Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey. All in all, it seems like the Mavericks won this trade, if you zoom way in and look at this in an 18-month window. But zoom out, and the Lakers are looking around asking themselves how they just pulled off a bank heist. With AD, the Mavericks lineup looks good, possibly a winning formula. But the Lakers got Luka Doncic, and in 20 years, fans will look back and wonder how one of the greatest players of all time in his prime was traded away on a random Saturday night.
Worst trade in
That's
NBA history.
crazy. That's crazy.
Worst trade in NBA history.
I was finna be a Dallas fan, but I don't even think I want to be a Dallas fan.
Yeah, you live in Dallas.
I know.
Hey, man. Yo. Don't.
I don't even think I want to be a Dallas fan no more.
Don't even do that, bro. I ain't gonna lie.